Chinese medicine was my gateway out of the stereotypical Western mindset, the programming I had living in the middle of the country of the United States in Missouri and in a small town on top of it. In fact, I checked the population the other day when I was growing up there, and it was less than 3,500 people growing up. It's now like 7,000 people, right? So a very small cattle farming driven community. That's my upbringing. And now, I've only lived in about 3 or 4 other states, but it wasn't my exposure to other people necessarily that changed my framework on how I look at the world. It was my foray into Chinese medicine and how it changed how I look at human beings and how we are with nature and how out of sync we are with that, and how we have absolutely, I think, lost many of our innate human abilities to be able to experience life, experience this world. We've turned them off. We've been told they don't exist. If you say that you have the ability to feel something, people automatically think, oh, you're talking about your emotions. Not in this situation. I'm talking about a sensory input type of an extraction of information from my surroundings that are beyond the typical that people talk about. This isn't just about what I'm seeing, what I am hearing, what I'm smelling, what I'm tasting, what I'm touching, tactile. It is tactile. I do feel emotions within the dynamics of that I'm talking about, but I'm feeling it with other aspects of my body besides my hands or my feet or even my skin. It's internal. I can feel it in my organs. I can feel it around my body. Many of you feel the same way I do. You don't think what I'm saying is strange at all. However, there are many people who hear me speaking like this, and they think it sounds insane. In fact, they've probably already stopped watching this video. But this is why I feel frankly quite alone in the world, because most people I talk to don't operate in this way. And even the people who say, no, I totally get what you're saying. I have out-of-body experiences. I navigate this world to the astral plane, or I have constant interaction in conversation with non-physical beings, meaning entities that most of people cannot see. Now, those are still more within the realm of what I'm speaking about, of having the ability to sense things beyond what people normally, as our Western culture, recognize as being possible. But it's still not how I operate. I wish I operated more that way in expansion of my abilities. In my ability to have conversations with non-physical beings, sounds great. Or the ability to hear voices of contact of non-physical beings, absolutely. Wish I could do more of that. Not my developed skill set yet. But what I have developed and my foray into Chinese medicine was the doorway to pass through in order to start opening up opening up my mind to entertain what we could actually be as humanity. That's really what drives me every day, is exploring what abilities have we forgotten. Have we been told don't exist? Don't even entertain that. You're loony for entertaining that. You're a kook, you're a moron, whatever terminology they like to use to disparage you or me. I had to move past that as being an inhibiting reason for not exploring further. And that's what I've been doing now for over 20 years, is further exploration, trying to expand the box I know I still live in, even though I don't want to live in any kind of box. I also, though, want to remain grounded. Meaning, I know I live in this human avatar experience at 54, and I want to be very much aware of the beauty of what it means to live this life, however short it is, and it's always going to be short, no matter if it's 100 years or less. It's going to be short in how it seems. It certainly does already at 54. I want to know, though, what it feels like to soak up all the experience in this body. At the same time, I want to have that limitless potential of expansive experience and awareness that I think is possible. I want both. I want to be in the world and yet not of it. I want to be able to enliven all of the abilities I possess, and I think probably everybody does potentially possess. I want to have it all. I want to experience all of it. It drives me more than anything else. Do I want to have a comfortable lifestyle? Yeah, I do. Do I want to have enough resources to explore life in the way that I feel like I desire from day to day? I do. I want my family to have that ability. I know that this is important to us to have that ability, but it's not the overarching driving force in my life. Otherwise, I would choose some other way to live, because what I do to earn a living is not the most lucrative thing you could do. But it's what allows me to have passion to drive my endeavors and not just money. So whenever I am sensing the world, I am sensing, let's just talk about people where it's easiest to understand one another here. I want to experience another person's emotion. I know you have a bioenergetic field that is broadcast. This isn't the only way to look at this, but it is broadcast, let's say, from your physical structure. This is a broadcasting, a transmitting device and a receiving device of information and energy. It's how this thing works. Very much believe that's how it works. That's what your central nervous system is doing. It is broadcasting information and receiving information, and there's an exchange going on every second of every day. Whether you're awake or asleep, this broadcast transmission back and forth is going on. It's really a matter of question of, are we really allowing that to be a pure exchange? Or do I have filters, belief systems in place that say, well, I may retrieve all this information, but I'm only going to allow a certain amount of it even through into my awareness, and how I decode that information into what I perceive as reality is going to be limited by those belief structures, those filters. And everybody has them. Whether they're taught to you, ingrained in you through teaching, repetition, or from experience, you have the filters in place. And so I know from my experience, not what I was taught, but from experience, that my field and somebody else's field can merge, whether we're next to one another, or whether we're across the room, or whether we're across town, or across another state in the United States, or another country, or off planet, and I'm here. It doesn't make a difference, because we know, at least we suspect, and we describe in quantum physics, that this idea of separation and distance is an illusion. It's not real. So, because of that, I can consciously want to connect with someone, or vice versa, and we will. Especially if we're both agreeing on that in our conscious. I'm going to connect with you now. Me too. And then we both do that. That's what a treatment is with me, is an agreement of conscious connection in order for us to be able to exchange information, and hopefully all boats will rise. If I do my due diligence every day in my building up of my life force and the clarity within the way I am in my state of being, then I can meet with somebody else in that agreement, and then we can start to have an exchange that creates a better quality of life, coherence, and overall life force in them, because I'm doing my work daily. That's me basically pushing their health bicycle. That's how I describe it. You have a health bicycle, and it's either heading in a direction, a trajectory towards greater and greater health, more harmony, greater coherence, or it's in the wrong direction. And also we have to factor in not just trajectory, but the momentum in that direction. If I'm headed in the proper health direction, I have momentum, my health is either status quo or even improving. Or it's in the wrong trajectory and there's a lot of momentum and it's going downhill fast. So we want to have proper direction and proper momentum. I can treat someone, redirect their trajectory into a healthier direction, and give them a push with a lot more life force infusion. Now they have the proper trajectory and they have momentum in their direction. But if they don't learn to pedal that bicycle on their own through their own daily way of living, then the bicycle eventually slows down and their health improvement starts to slow down as well, and maybe starts to reverse if there's not enough input, from moment to moment. So what do? I put them on the bike, change the trajectory, give them a push through a session. Then I teach them, if they're willing, how to pedal that bicycle daily to keep the momentum going and the trajectory true. That's what I do. So this video is going on YouTube as the first one I've posted in a long time. I'm going to post it on Facebook as well. But this is really my YouTube initial effort to go, I'm going to do this on a weekly basis, maybe multiple times, to make these kind of videos to help you understand what I'm talking about, of how I'm interacting with another person, whether they're in the room or across town or out of state or across country or around the world, how I'm doing that. And what I'm noticing and feeling in that interaction in my own body as I mirror what is happening in their body. And that helps me to understand their dysfunction, the twisting of what should be true and aligned and coherent. And I'll tell you also about how I'm doing that daily within myself, because the exploration towards the improvement and harmonization of health and the quality of life starts within me, so I can then share that understanding with someone else. But we've lost the plot. And even most alternative practitioners in the healthcare arena don't understand what I'm saying. They think they do. They speak like maybe they understand it. But experientially, I can feel it in them. They do not understand what I'm saying because their energy is still small. And the idea of cultivating life force outside of diet, outside of supplementation or quality of sleep or water intake, or you name the normal things that we list as being the way we get healthier, they don't understand it beyond that realm. It's still tangibility. It's still based in biochemistry. Important? Yes. But bioenergetics is the other side of that coin of who we are. And they, from their own experience, from what I can feel and having conversations with them, they do not understand what I'm talking about. That is where I am at the leading edge of this kind of healthcare, because I have thankfully been exposed to the right people, had the right obsessiveness around this subject matter, and daily diligence to explore it for myself so I can then experientially share with other people, meaning I can combine my energy with theirs and share my experience with that sharing of information and energy through actual connection, and not just more information so people can mentally masturbate and feel better about their interactions, but actually come away going, I really don't know what I really got out of that exchange at all. How much money did I just pay, and what did I get? That's not how I work. I work as grounded as possible. I also work in the esoteric. It's not esoteric to me, but it is to most people. So that's the plan I have for my YouTube channel with Angel. And I'll post them also on Facebook. But I'm going to start posting, like I said, regularly on YouTube weekly. Thank you for watching.